Good morning, America. This is your friend or your worst enemy, Dr.Turi. Okay, today is the day. Okay, in fact, tonight is the night where I'm going to be on Forbidden Knowledge News. Tonight, we're going to discuss all sorts of things involving UFOs, evil, spirit, the stars, the future of humanity. We're going to discuss every single topic under the stars with Chris. And he happened to be born in September. And souls born in September are my top student, incidentally. The mind of a Virgo is extraordinarily inquisitive. Very perceptive, so they naturally regenerate with investigation. And this can be applied for anything to work for the FBI, to delegate matter that are new age, anything and everything that were with natural health, name it. Those Virgos are very special. And I'm glad I'm going to have a radio host born in September. And to make the situation even better, he was born with the head of the dragon. Excuse me. In the sign of Aquarius, which rules astrology, New Age. So all do the best for a very, very interesting radio show. That will be on YouTube. The video should be ready as soon as we're done. But in case it is not, then don't you worry. I will provide the link next time I appear. Or, just join my... click on the link and join his YouTube video channel so you could enjoy the discussion. So that's where we are. Memo, May 17, okay? May 17, this is quite an important date. I'm sure many of you remember, especially if you are a follower of my work. If you read that newsletter, May 17 depict a SOS to the world, a plutonic window, or one of the best window the reptilians will always use to create a wave, a mad dance of negative news, murder, secrets, wake-up call, finances, police, the FBI, nature, crazy people killing, terrorism, name it. And again, now you have the date. Today we are the 14th, and that is basically anything and everything so close. So pay attention to the date that I just gave you, okay? And we go from there. So sorry, but those allergies are still there. All right, now the title of the newsletter associated with this taping is Earth, Moon is Shrinking and Quaking. But there is more. Oh, yes, there is much more. And I hope you can handle the truth, okay? As I expected, you're going to have more and more news involving the moon. Well, it appears for some reasons, again, that the scientific community every single day is discovering a new planet or a new black hole, knowing in the infinities of our universe, there is billions and trillions and quadrillions of planets and black holes. This means they have a lot of material for you to digest, or most importantly, to educate you, or maybe to entertain you. But what's behind all this? What's behind this sudden interest by the two most powerful, wealthy, affected people on the planet, those wealthy billionaires? What is all of a sudden the interest of going to the moon? I thought we were going to Mars. Well, what's happening is they realize that Mars is a little bit too far away. Again, the moon is next door. So, you know what? It'd be more interesting to actually go on the moon because they don't want to wait. They can spend their money to go to the moon and make much more money in the process. But there is something else. Remember the title, okay? But there is more. Okay, we're going to discuss this a little bit further on. For now, understand that the scientific community has his hero. Okay, one of them is Neil deGrasse Tyson. Okay, and he wrote, let me tell you a story. When I was 13, I robbed a dope dealer in Harlem. The next day, I took 40 hits of LSD and stared at the sun for hours. That is the moment I knew that I had to become an astrological physicist. Neil deGrasse Tyson. I would say Neil disgrace Tyson. And you know what I teach my students? Be very, very aware of any jokes that you hear, because there are always a bit of truth in any jokes that is thrown at you. There is something coming from the subconscious that stimulates the person to mention pot. And knowing that Mr. Disgrace, Mr. Tyson, was born in October, like Sanja, Dr. Sanja, now you understand why those guys are natural potheads. So in his own stupid jokes, okay, he actually divulged to the world, or at least to me, to those who are cosmic conscious, to those who can bypass the 5 limited human sense, he just divulged that he is a pothead. But I already knew, and that's the beauty of forensic astrology. All right, now, I had to mention that. What do those millionaires says as far as colonizing the moon is concerned? They said it's really remarkable to see data from nearly 50 years ago, and from the orbiter mission has been combined to advance our understanding of the moon, while suggesting where future missions intend of studying the moon interior process should go. Say John Keller in a statement, study author and lunar reconnaissance orbiter project scientist at NASA Goddard Space Flight Center. Continuing, for me, these findings emphasize that we need to go back to the moon, Schmer said. We learned a lot from the Apollo missions, but they really only scratch the surface. With a larger network of modern seismometers, we could make huge strides at our understanding of the moon geology. This provides some very promising low-hanging fruits for science on a future mission to the moon. Oh, wait a minute here. Wait a minute. First of all, just tell me God names, okay? Those wasteful and costly studies are going to benefit you or your kids physically or spiritually. Now, understand the phrase that he used, reconnaissance orbiter project. Okay, that is set to find out the best and safer location to build future moon ports, and you certainly do not want to build a landing strip on a fault zone. Yes. So they are trying to find out where earthquake-prone area of the moon are, so they're not going to build their airport or moon ports there, because that would cost a lot of money to rebuild, and most of all, if you go there to look what the moon looks like, the chances are you could die, and they don't want to get sued because they are billionaires. Okay, so that is one of the questions that you may have that hasn't been answered. But I bypass the 5 limited human senses, and I can see things that you may not necessarily either understand, accept, or see for yourself, or not even comprehend, or even and even challenge me. But hey, this is why we're here, to learn and to grow. Okay, again, the fact of the matter is that Elon Musk made fun of Jeff Bezos' moon's plan. He wasn't the only one, he said, interested in the moon. So there are already competition taking place. Okay, those two infected space billionaires have previously jostled over whose rocket is bigger, and for any normal being, to live in a glass container on the moon is simply absurd. Those financial projects are designed to kill the competition, okay? Because the fact is, those two greedy infected space billionaires have previously jostled over whose ego and wealth is bigger. That's basically what it is. I'm better than you. My space shuttle will be better than you. I'm richer than you. So it's an ego battle to who's going to be there first. It's a challenge. But is this on purpose to stimulate you, to entertain you, or there is something much, much more dramatic behind all this, what they want you to read and to see and put to the public that I'm translating for you? What it is, what all of a sudden Mars or the space station is not necessarily, in the project. I told you, mostly because the moon is next door, and the International Space Station is reserved for the scientists, and having people visiting there could be an obstruction to their justice. But again, there is something for sure that I want you to know. You will never go to Mars. You may challenge me. Hey, who am I to tell you? I'm just Dr. Turi, and I read the future, and I've proved my case many, many times. And you have your logical mind to delegate my vision, and that's good enough for me, okay? That's the beauty of being able to communicate. But I'm telling you, your kids and you and the kids of your kids of your kids will never, ever go to Mars. It's just an intelligent, deceptive way to educate you, to entertain you, to get your money so that you can go to the moon instead, which is next door. And that is feasible because we've already been there. Okay, it's common sense. And believe me, the moon is no hollow and there is no ET base inside. Okay, that's again come out of a mind of people who are have to say anything as long as they mention as soon as they mention maintain their money-making schemes. Doesn't matter what they say, as long as you believe it and they go to the bank with your money, they're happy. Because again, there is a fine line between divine cosmic information and deceptive scientific deception. Okay, all right, now excuse me. Now, what is the real reason up a sudden for that interest for all those scientists to focus on going on the moon and joking publicly, yeah, well, my space machine is bigger than yours, whatever, I'll be there first. What it is behind this? Wow. Sometimes when I channel Draco myself, I'm upset. I find the channeling pretty crude. But again, even to myself, this fact applies that the truth doesn't intend to please anyone and does vex a lot of people who cannot comprehend the magnitude of deception that's taking place. Let me tell you what's going on exactly. Let's be hypothetical. Okay, let's say, okay, that's it. It's all done. We've been spending billions and trillions and God knows what. We are on the moon, and there's a bunch of scientists living in that bubble because you cannot take one breath out there. You just cannot. Okay, they are investigating the process of us going there. So I doubt very much that would take place either. But let me hypothetically say, okay, those guys are now there. Do you 1 second believe there will be room for you or your children or your grandchildren there? Oh yes, if they become part of the pack. Because those scientists that are infected in the mind, negative scientists, okay, waste our money and our time instead of taking care of Mother Earth or his precious human cargo like we are, okay? Those scientists have told those very wealthy sucker idiots who are billionaire that the Earth is on the way out. That's a fact. We already know that, but it's supposed to be from the sun in a few billion years from now, which is hitting the planet. But it's not the sun that is killing the planet. It's humans, their endeavors, their greed, their lack of concern, deforestation. God knows what's going on, and you know it. You're not idiot. You know it. Okay, so they have convinced those guys that it's crucial to get on the moon as a stepping stone so that you can go to Mars. Okay, because we might have like 20, 30 years if you're lucky on this planet. So the fact is, those scientists, through their mind, infected mind, there is no way out. This is it, and those rich bastards want to take them and their family to go and colonize other planets. They're in a world of deception to start with. But you know what? That's all they have. They haven't been educated on the soul of the cosmos, the purpose of the planet, and it's not God's will for us to go on the moon or on Mars. Like as I said many times before, it's like asking a fish to get off his watery world and live with us in a scaphandra. Better have a big container full of water so they can breathe under the water in our world. See how stupid that sounds? So there is a much morbid reasons to why those guys are concentrating in getting to the moon as a stepping stone to go somewhere else. But I'm telling you, this is all deception. It is designed to support their ego. It is designed by the reptilians to waste immense fortune and to let very, very precious time goes by to the point of no return. That is the plan of the reptilians. Of course, the draconians will never accept it. So be sure, regardless of what I write sometime when I'm depressed and I see so much idiocy out there, I still have hopes that the draconians who have been fighting those reptilians since the get-go will give in. They will interfere when it's time, but maybe they are waiting to see how far the human stupidity can go. Okay, so that's where we are now. I did a TV show with George Norrie many years ago, when I told George Norrie, I think it's 10 years ago, something like that, say we only have 50 years to live. That was 10 years ago, so I might have to reevaluate now if we have 50 years or 40 years left. I'm not sure. But that was well before the scientific community and Bezos, the billionaire. I don't even know if they were billionaire, those guys then during those days. But that was well before they planned to go on the moon first and then jump there to Mars or whatever. That makes absolutely no sense. You need to understand we only have one planet designed by God to actually support humanity. You only have one spaceship. Okay, so instead of wasting time and money in going to a dead planet and try to start a human life again is idiotic to the extreme. But, when you have been conditioned either by science to believe science has all the answer, or for that matter, the reptilians infected religious matrix, when you think God and the Bible have all the answers, you realize that you've been victimized. You've been brainwashed. And again, this does not take away the reality of God and Jesus' cosmic ministry. Understand me, I believe in God and in Jesus, big time. Not the way you do, because I challenge you in a way that, for the reality that God never came down, neither Jesus wrote the Bible. Man did. And man's folly has created a lot of damage because men were infected by the reptilians to create a tremendous amount of religion that can only bring chaos, trouble, war, and create ISIS caliphate. There's no way you're going to find anything good or peace within the religious world, because it has never been and never will be. It was set that way by the reptilians all over the world. Now, you cannot deny this and then, get rid of it, and then that won't work. No, no, no. You got to find a universal religion that does not judge you, that understands that doesn't matter what color you are, your blood is still red, and you have emotion. You're a human being. You're sensitive. You're creative. You have your gifts. You got your sins. You are controlled by a celestial scheme of things that you don't understand. And understanding this scheme of things, or God, cosmic divinity, or God speaking through the sign, okay, then that will allow you to understand not only yourself at a very deep level and auto-analyze yourself correctly, but also understand why others are so different. And that unify. Knowledge is power, ignorance is evil. Religion separates, astrology unify. That's why astrology has been part of every single disappeared civilization, and always point out, a building always point out to specific constellations. They've been with us forever, the extraterrestrials, and they know astrology. Now you have the good one and you have the bad one, using those cosmic winds and using your mind and using and controlling your fears in a way that you go and spend the money and put the effort in the wrong direction. I'm here trying to correct that direction, but how am I going to do this when people laugh at me, when I'm not allowed as a soul doctor to reach the US Department of Education and help your children to regenerate their spirit so the school shooting stops? The scientific world has gained so much control, and then the religious world is going the other way, trying to get the balance, and both of them are wrong, while they can also be right. Understand that religion is good. Religion can, in some way, be very positive. Not as practiced today, because it's separating chaos. And as much as science does the same thing, when you send $1 billion spacecraft somewhere and you blow up above your head, you have wasted a lot of money that could have used for a lot of young mothers who are forced to raise their children on their own. So you need to understand what it means to be a little bit more responsible. Use a lot of critical thinking and realize that those who have the money, those who are very rich, they are privileged select. They're going to put the money so that they can save their kind. And again, I repeat myself, you have no business on the moon because you don't know nothing about the moon. You're not a scientist. You're not going to help for the next step in their imaginative, deceptive aims to go to Mars. So they're not going to ask you to go there or say, oh, we're going to save humanity. No, they're going to save their kind. And that's what, if by any miracle they succeed, we're going to have another race of extraterrestrials with their own strengths, weaknesses, value, and their own artificial intelligence. Then they're going to try to come back to livable planet to find out what the hell happened to them. Because they have lost the spirit, they have lost God, cosmic divinity, because they never understood Jesus' cosmic ministry from the get-go. And here goes Dr.Turi telling you that the moon and the planets have a very different purpose than to go and waste our time or try to live on them. God created the stars in the heavens for the sake, not for the sake of beauty, but for interpretation again, so that you may lead a safer, more productive life. There's so much more behind this world of metaphysics, this world of astrology, this world of the spirit, and terrible, terrible, terrible manipulation that's taking place because the reptilians have infected the mind of 99.09% of all the people walking planet Earth. With that in mind, I don't know how much I can help anymore, and I don't know how long we have before we can turn things around. But I will fight all the way to my last breath, because I do not want to see the vision that I have becoming a reality. I just don't want to. I don't want your children to see that. All right, I don't want to be over dramatic. One more time, let's go on the air tonight, okay, and listen to what we're going to be discussing. Please, please, please be careful. We are 2 or 3 days away with 14 today. The 17 is the date that I give for the reptilians to be extraordinarily active. Watch the news following this day, just before, just after, and especially for the days after that. It's going to be a dramatic dance of evil. Careful what you see, careful what you say, careful what you do, careful where you go. Be aware. And I'm doing all that I can to warn you, because a lot of us will not make it. I know I will, because I'm smart and I'm cosmic conscious. I know my student will, but I'm not that sure about you, because being a robot of your stars and cosmic and conscious, definitely not going to help you. All right, guys. God willing again. Speak to you again some other time. See you tonight on the radio. Bye-bye.